What happens when experienced hikers walk into a mountain and never walk out? Mount Shasta has drawn searchers, scientists, and rescue teams for decades. Some of the people who disappeared here were prepared, some knew the trails well, and some vanished without explanation. This is what we know and what we don't. Mount Shasta rises 14,179 feet above Northern California. It sits about 60 miles south of the Oregon border, visible for over 100 miles in every direction. It is a stratovolcano. The United States Geological Survey considers it potentially active, though it has not erupted in recorded history. The mountain is part of the Cascade Range. It draws climbers, hikers, and spiritual seekers from around the world. The Pacific Crest Trail passes nearby. Each year, thousands attempt the summit or explore its forests and glaciers. For the Wintu, Shasta, and other indigenous peoples, this mountain holds deep spiritual significance. Long before it became a tourist destination, it was sacred ground. But alongside its beauty, Mount Shasta carries a quiet reputation. Over the decades, people have gone missing here under circumstances that remain unresolved. Several disappearances near Mount Shasta have been extensively documented through official search and rescue reports, news coverage, and missing persons databases. Carl Landers was a 48-year-old experienced mountaineer. In February 2010, he set out to climb Mount Shasta solo. He carried proper gear, he knew the terrain, he had climbed the mountain before. Landers checked in with the ranger station. He was expected to return within days. He never came back. Search teams, including helicopters and ground crews, scoured the mountain for weeks. They found some of his equipment at higher elevations, but they never found Carl Landers. To this day, his case remains open. Chris Fowler, known in the hiking community as Sherpa, was an experienced long-distance hiker. In October 2016, he was completing a southbound thru-hike of the Pacific Crest Trail. He was last confirmed near the Mount Shasta area. His family reported him missing after he failed to check in. Extensive searches followed, involving professional rescue teams and volunteer hikers. The effort continued for months. Despite organized searches and widespread media attention, no confirmed trace of Fowler has been found. Over the years, other individuals have gone missing in the Mount Shasta wilderness. Some were eventually found, alive or deceased, others remain missing. Search and rescue logs from Siskiyou County reflect a pattern consistent with many remote wilderness areas. Harsh terrain, unpredictable weather, and limited access make recovery difficult. What sets some of these cases apart is the absence of physical evidence. In certain instances, searches turned up little to nothing. When someone vanishes in the wilderness, investigators and rescue personnel typically consider several possibilities. Mount Shasta's terrain is unforgiving. Glaciers, crevasses, rock slides, and sudden weather changes have injured and killed climbers throughout their history. Hypothermia can set in quickly at high altitude. Whiteout conditions can disorient even experienced hikers. Some researchers suggest that bodies lost in crevasses or beneath snowpack may remain hidden indefinitely. Black bears, mountain lions, and other wildlife inhabit the region. While fatal encounters are rare, they are possible. Falls, river crossings, and exposure remain the leading causes of backcountry fatalities nationwide. In any missing person case, investigators consider the possibility that the individual chose to disappear, suffered a medical emergency, or encountered another person. None of the cases discussed here has produced evidence of foul play, but in the absence of a body, definitive conclusions remain elusive. Mount Shasta has long attracted interest from those who believe the mountain holds supernatural or unexplained significance. Since the early 20th century, various groups have claimed the mountain is home to underground cities, interdimensional portals, or ancient beings. These claims are not supported by scientific evidence. However, they have contributed to the mountain's reputation and drawn additional attention to missing persons cases in the area. Researchers who study wilderness disappearances generally caution against attributing unexplained cases to paranormal causes without evidence. Every unresolved disappearance leaves behind a family waiting for answers. Search and rescue operations near Mount Shasta continue to evolve. Technology like drones, thermal imaging, and GPS tracking have improved coverage, but the wilderness remains vast. Siskiyou County, where the mountain is located, has limited resources. Volunteer organizations often fill gaps in official response. For hikers and climbers, these cases serve as a reminder. The backcountry demands preparation, communication, and respect for conditions that can change without warning. For investigators, the unanswered cases represent ongoing work. Cold cases are sometimes reopened when new evidence emerges or technology advances. Mount Shasta remains one of the most visited peaks in the American West. It continues to attract climbers, hikers, and those seeking something harder to define. Most who visit return safely, but a small number do not. Their cases remain open, their families remain waiting, and the mountain, as it has for centuries, remains silent.